Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. This week I'm taking a trip back to New York City and I'm going to talk about Quicksand. Quicksand was around in the early 90s. I think they started around 1990. So I'm going to get straight into it. Quicksand, I got my first shirt from them. I got this one at the Nyabingi Dance Hall. I think it was around 93, 94-ish. It was a show. It was Quicksand, Orange 9mm, and Sick of It All. Here in Morgantown, one of the best shows that I've ever been to in the Nyabingi, which is now 123. But this shirt comes from that show. They were on the tour for their album Manic Compression. Simple Quicksand logo to the front. I've always liked the way that graphic was turned out. And then onto the back, cool little sketch drawing. Kind of reminds me of a weird, like, Where the Wild Things Are children's book kind of thing. I'm not exactly sure, but it coincides with the artwork for the rest of the album. But that was a great show. I got to meet all those guys at the show, and there was like easily at least 400 people in there that shouldn't have been in there. But it was a great show, sweaty, danced our rear ends off, and had a blast. The second shirt that I have, I got this, I actually got from Toby Morris, the singer from H2O. I talk with him on Instagram every now and again, and he was going through his closet getting rid of, like, he was having a black t-shirt purge. So we got to emailing, and he had this Quicksand shirt, which I never had that I wanted, which has got the cover artwork for the Slip album on it. I think this is a really great shirt. It's a newer print because Quicksand did get back together a couple few years ago. This is a really cool print. It's like one of those sublimated kind of prints, and it's really soft. It's a really soft shirt. It's a great shirt. In 2017, Quicksand put out their first new album in almost 20 years called Interiors, and I got to go see them up at Mr. Small's. So this next shirt comes from the Mr. Small's show. I got this one. I went up with my buddy Tom, who I used to play in Jet Set Vapor Trails with. This was one of the last road trips I got to go on with Tom before he passed away in 2018. And we had a really good time at that show. But this shirt comes from that show, which is the artwork that's actually on the back of the Slip album, which was their first full-length that they put out on Island Records. Quicksand was a great band. Like, sonically, just knocked you in your face. There was nothing else like them at the time when they came out, or at least that I was aware of. But they had their niche, and it was very, very cool. And Interiors was a very good album. Not so much like the first two, but as time goes on, musicians age, we as fans age. It was a little different, but I dig the album, and I can see where it would have fit into their canon of the earlier two records. But Quicksand comprised Walter, who played in Gorilla Biscuits, another New York hardcore band from back in the late 80s. Sergio Vega, their bass player, he ended up going on to play bass for the Deftones after their bass player's accident, so Sergio took over for him. Walter was also in Rival Schools and had another solo venture called Walking Concert. Alan Cage and Tom Capone both respectively played in an old New York hardcore band called Beyond. I was able to come across one of their albums last year that I had never heard, and it's really, really good. So if you like good old school New York hardcore, go search out Beyond. They were really cool. But Alan also played in other bands. Like he also played in Burn as well as Beyond. And Tom, like I said, played in Beyond, but he also played in Bold. And then after Quicksand had broke up, he played guitar in another band called Handsome. Quicksand got back together in 2017, put out a new record, Interiors. If you haven't heard it, check it out. They've got their first album, Slip, and then Manic Compression was their second album they put out. All really good releases. I think they put out their first 7-inch in 1990. It was on Revelation, really good stuff. I had a couple of songs that ended up going on Slip, but they're kind of alternate versions. Quicksand was a great band. I had a lot of fun getting to see them back in the 90s, and it was really awesome to see them again back in 2017. And if you've never checked them out, please check them out. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you next week. Take it easy.